Joanna, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Today I wanted to show you a fun project that is, I think, overlooked by a lot of crafters, and it's paint pour. And paint pouring is very simple and it's gorgeous and the outcomes are stunning. And if you Google paint pour paintings, you will see how expensive they can get, and we pretty much have everything in our craft room to make them. So I want to show you how to do it so you guys can make them for your house, you can make them for the gifts for Christmas. I mean, possibilities are endless. So these are the paint pours that we're going to do today. I decided to go with the blues and the greens. So this one is the bigger one, and then I have two smaller ones here. Now, when I told you that you can play with the colors, this is the one that I usually display during fall. I love those colors here, and these colors here are the colors of my kitchen. So you can also walk from room to room if you have a little spot on your wall that you would like to fill it with something and match the colors from your craft room of the acrylic paint and create something really, really neat. So with that being said, let's get started with the project. And let's get started with the floating medium, which is the medium that we're going to create to add to our paint so that it flows nicer. And here I'm using 70% Elmer's glue mixed with 30% water. If you don't have that, you can get Floetrol from Home Depot or Lowe's. Now I'm going to use my scale, and I always have used my scale because I want to add the same amount of medium, the pouring medium and paint to each of my cups. So I'm using grams. I think it's just much easier to make sure that we are accurate here. And in this example, I'm putting 9 grams of paint, and I'm going to add 9 grams of pouring medium, and I'm going to do that to every single paint that I'm going to be using that in the video. So all the paints that you're going to see in my next clip are mixed 50% to 50% by weight with the pouring medium. Now it's just time to mix it very well, and you can see that it's becoming flowier and flowier. And if it's too thick, I'm going to add some more water down the road to it because some paints are thicker than others, as you will see in just 1 minute. I picked up canvas from Michael's. You can get them very inexpensively, a pack of 8 for $10. I believe these are 8 by 8, and I put little push pins at the bottom so that when I put it down, it's lifted from the bottom of my aluminum pan. And all the names of the paints that I'm using are going to be listed in the description below. As I mentioned, all the paints are already pre-mixed with my floating medium, and I'm also grabbing some silicone. And we're not going to use a lot of silicone, but a little bit, just 2 to 3 drops go in each of the containers, paint containers, and that will help us with creating beautiful eyes in our project. And I'm going to give it a nice mix. You don't have to mix it thoroughly, but I know some people can't do it without the silicone. I have never been successful, so this silicone is going to last me forever, and I picked it up in Home Depot. And you can see some of the paints are a little bit thicker than others, like I mentioned before. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to make sure that they are flowy, so that, you know, when you take your popsicle stick and you lift it up, that they just flow. They are not very thick. Give it a nice mix and check for texture in each of the colors. And now I've seen people add paint to the bottom of the project so that it flows a little better, and I've seen people not do that at all. I have been more successful when there is a little bit of paint already at the bottom, so that's what I'm going to do. Now you can see that I even feel that this one needs a little bit more water, so you just have to keep on adding when it's not too runny but it's not too terribly thick. spread the paint. It doesn't have to be spread all over because I'm going to put my paint right smack in the middle, and I'm grabbing an empty cup and I'm going to start layering all the colors. And there is really no any particular order that I'm layering them in, and you can play with the orders and see if you know, one is better than the other, what kind of outcomes you get. And I noticed that when I was adding the paint, each layer would go to the bottom, so after a while I decided that maybe it would be better just to like spread the paint on top, and what you're gonna see in just 1 second, so that it actually stays in layers just like that. I think that it keeps the layers a little bit more separated. So you're just gonna go on, fill up your cup as much as you need, and we're going to see what kind of outcome we're going to get with this one. I am leaving a little bit of paint in the cups for my 2 small canvases that I picked up from the Dollar Tree to be able to create those 2. Okay, now we're going to flip the cup over, and I let it sit just for a few seconds to let the paint kind of drain down in the cup, and then I'm going to just lift it with a little swish, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so now you can see that some parts have little eyes that are being created, and we are after those, and I think that the silicone is helping in creating those eyes. So now you're just going to move it around and stretch those eyes to make them even prettier. And in just 1 minute you'll see I'll grab a lighter, and I'm going to just swoosh the lighter on top to pop even more bubbles, so that we have even more little eyes being created. And this is what I'm doing right now, and you can see there is just such a huge pop and the amount of bubbles that we have. So idea is to stretch the paint, get as much paint off the canvas as you need. So there is going to be drip, so you kind of, you know, people feel that maybe they're a little bit wasteful, but it's a part of the project, so you have to kind of account to it, and make sure that you cover all your edges, and you see all these beautiful designs that are coming up. And like I said, you can play with different colors that actually fit your house or fit the room that you want to create this project for. Okay, so you can see how the eyes are stretching. You don't want too much paint left on the canvas, yet you want to make sure that you have a nice design. If you leave too much paint, the top may get dry too fast and you may get a crackle effect. So cover your corners and put everything on the side and let it dry. And here are the 2 little canvases, and from the Dollar Tree I'm just putting them on a couple of the tumble blocks so that they are up and above the flat surface. And I'm going to grab my leftover paint and I'm going to layer exactly the same way, and you can just watch the process, the same process as with the large canvas. I'm going to layer the paint and I'm going to put it on top of these 2 little guys. So now that the projects are nice and dry, and I dried them for 24 hours, you can go ahead and admire those beautiful eyes and beautiful colors that we have achieved with the paint pour. I think everything came out really, really nice. Look at that. And like I said, I'm using silicone to create those eyes, but there are some people that don't use it. So now it's time for the seal. Let's seal it. I use polyurethane from Home Depot or Lowe's, but you know, you can use Mod Podge, and the coat that I'm putting on is gloss, but satin works great on some of my projects. I just thought that gloss would bring up the colors really nicely here, so I'm really glad that I did, because I like the way they turn out. And look at that, these are 2 coats of gloss polyurethane. Look at those beautiful eyes, and it's such a simple project that we have pretty much everything, maybe with the exception of the silicone, in our craft room, and you can give it as a gift. You can put it in your bathroom with these colors, or any other room. And like I said, go through your room. If you think that this is a nice project and you would like to try it, go for what are the colors of the room that you're looking for, and you can mix them together and look at the beautiful outcome. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video and it inspired you to get into your craft room and create some paint pour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you subscribe. And my friends, till next time, ta-ta!